campaign trail, Hillary Clinton having some trouble keeping support among millennials. The Democratic nominee visiting Temple University yesterday. She reached out to young voters about her plan to pay for college.
I understand that Temple was founded to democratize, diversify, and widen the reach of higher education. That is still a vital goal. So I worked with Bernie Sanders on a plan. We came up with a plan that makes public college tuition-free for working families and debt-free for everyone.
Joining us right now, Trump surrogate and Senior Director of Investment Sales at Ackman Ziff, Jason Meister. Jason, good to see you. Vice President for the Social Policy and Politics Program, Lanae Erickson. Hatalsky is with us as well. Lanae, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you think this is going to help Hillary win back that millennial vote?
I think if there's one difference this election for young people, it's that we hate Donald Trump more than any candidate in recent history. In fact, Donald Trump does worse among young people than Romney, than George W. Bush, than McCain, and even than Bob Dole. So we know that we're starting with the least popular candidate in history for young people.
Wow.
And Hillary Clinton is addressing the things that young people really want to see, like me: affordable higher education, addressing climate change, making sure that our streets are safe from guns, and lots of other priorities that we have.
All right. Well, hey, you know, hate is a big word. Morgan Ortega's your millennial. You fit into that category. What's your take? You hate him?
I mean, everything that she said would be great if it were true in the polls. It's not. So if you look at the latest polls, Hillary Clinton is actually doing about as well as Mitt Romney did in 2012 with millennials. So here's the big problem for Hillary and millennials. If she can't bring them out, and you can talk about this as well, if she can't bring out millennials and the minority vote in the same numbers that President Obama did, we're talking about a very different electorate from 2012, especially when Donald Trump is getting the white working class Democrats to vote for him.
Jason, what do you think?
It's not a typical Democrat versus Republican election. You have a successful businessman on the one side, and you now have a corrupt career politician. That's what she is. And the incessant lies that we're seeing since she went down at that 9/11 memorial are hurting her among the millennials. You saw they were overwhelmingly in support of Bernie Sanders. And the emails come out from Judicial Watch and from Assange, and we now see that it was totally rigged against him. So it's this rigging of the system millennials don't like to see, and they want an honest and trustworthy candidate.
Yeah, that's why Debbie Wasserman Schultz was pushed out, right, Dagan?
Right, exactly. And Lanae, I want to ask you, other than is that all Hillary Clinton's got, is to give a speech like that, trying to reach out to millennials? Because we didn't play it, but she said, I know that she said something, and I'm paraphrasing, but she said, I know that Bernie Sanders supporters aren't completely on board with her campaign. And beyond that, what can she do between now and early November?
It's actually, sorry, go ahead, you go.
I think Hillary Clinton is working hard to make sure that young people know about the policies that she has that would help them. But it's also unfair to compare her to 2008 Barack Obama. Young people like change, and that's what he was able to deliver at that point. And right now, it's not a Hillary problem. It's a third term of a Democratic presidency problem. These folks don't remember anything except for Barack Obama. The younger millennials really only remember Obama and think that he is basically the norm. So they see Hillary Clinton as essentially more of what they've already gotten used to. That's very different.
Morgan wasn't comparing her to Barack Obama. She was comparing Hillary Clinton to Mitt Romney. And right now, as Morgan pointed out, she has the same percentage of the youth vote that Mitt Romney won.
There's two things that we're not talking about. One is we have real 15% unemployment in this country amongst the millennial generation, the U6 unemployment number. They want jobs, and they want jobs now, and they need jobs. We're still talking about a housing recovery 8 years since the housing crash. So millennials need an economy that they can survive in, and there's no jobs for them.
Let me ask you this, Lanae. Do you, as a millennial, do you honestly think you're going to get free college?
I don't think I'm going to get free college. I don't expect free college, and I'm on the older side of the millennial generation, which has a little bit more realism about what can actually get done in Washington. But I think that there are a lot of things that young people want that Hillary Clinton is talking about. For example, they want to make sure that we achieve gay rights in this country, and that is something Donald Trump is really against. They want to make
sure.
sure.
I don't know about that. I mean, let's go back to the convention with Peter Thiel coming out and really reaching out to the gay and lesbian community. Actually, you know what? He made a lot of enemies about that of his own by sticking with Donald Trump. But he did a great. I am so impressed with Peter Thiel. I love that.
Let's talk about women's rights and gay rights. I mean, Hillary's Clinton Foundation, right, took millions, okay, from deplorable Sharia-run law countries which kill gays and kill women. And you think that that's the candidate that millennials are going to vote for when they're thinking about women's issues, oppression of the poor and gays?
Donald Trump has said that he will appoint a Supreme Court justice that will overturn marriage equality and that will overturn the right to choose for women. So I think that is perfectly clear. All of the nominees that he has offered as his Supreme Court picks would have those positions.
I don't think he said that, Lanae. Yeah,
he has had every single nominee that he has put forward as a potential nominee has been against the right to choose and against gay rights, and millennials know that.
We'll pull up the list of who he recommended. Go ahead.
If you just look at the facts of the polling, Marie, I mean, the polling that I cited comparing her to Mitt Romney, this is Fox News, CBS, Quinnipiac. These are major pollsters that show her polling poorly with millennials. Also, when you put Gary Johnson and Jill Stein in the mix, it's not Trump that loses whenever it's a four-way race. It's Hillary Clinton that loses in a four-way race. No matter what you think about the Republican primary, it was a fair primary. Anthony and I got beaten badly in the primary and have since moved on. But I think that's really what you're speaking to, is that the Republican primary was fair, the voters spoke, and the Democrat primary just seemed another long process of seeing a rigged election in favor of a candidate that's incredibly weak.
I feel like that's what millennials want. They want a fair shot.
John Horowitz wrote a really incredible column about that very thing over the weekend.
That they just want a fair shot. They don't want corruption.